We're talking Tennessee. They didn't get the result they wanted on the field over the weekend, but they had a couple of official visitors on campus. They had 4 of them. I want to talk about 2 flip targets in the trenches. Let's start with defensive lineman Carter Gooden, committed to UCLA. He skipped the rivalry game there with USC to go to Knoxville. What's the latest with his visit out to Tennessee, Chad?
Yeah, he's a very, low-key, very quiet, top recruiter there on the East Coast in Connecticut up there at Tabor Academy, one of the top private school programs up there in the Northeast. But obviously still committed to UCLA and really saw Vanderbilt back-to-back weekends play football. In Vandy, in Nashville last weekend for an OV, and Knoxville this weekend at Tennessee. And they're still talking to people, talked to Carter a little bit himself, and then people around this recruitment. They did a great job, Tennessee and Vanderbilt week before, and I think all 3 schools are still in play for that signing day decision on Wednesday. Does he stay with UCLA without a head coach as of right now? Yeah. Does he play in the SEC at Tennessee or Vanderbilt? Tennessee wants some more talent up front, not defensive line. He's a top target. They went through the full breakdown, academic, fit in the scheme. He had time with Rodney Garner this weekend at Tennessee. The visit, from everything I've gotten, went really well. It's kind of wait and see what happens on Wednesday.
Yeah, so another flip target on campus is in the trenches, this one on the offensive line, Carr, committed to Florida. When he arrived in Knoxville, the Gators did not have a head coach. When he leaves Knoxville, the Gators do have a head coach, hiring John Summerall. Carr made it to Knoxville this weekend. What do you make of this? Was he just kind of crossing I's, dotting T's? Or I got that all mixed up, but you know what I'm saying. Was this just kind of a just-in-case visit, or do the Vols have some traction here?
Yeah, I think it's a mix of both. I would lean towards just in case. He's a Florida kid. He's down at IMG Academy. He's from right below Gainesville, growing up down there. He's been around that Florida program for a long time. He has great relationships there. How many of those people will be there now that Summerall's in there? Is he going to clean house? Will he keep some people on staff? What's going to happen? We still have to wait and see there. But look, at one time, Tennessee had the buzz in this recruitment as Florida's biggest competition before he committed to the University of Florida. So, look, they never gave up on recruiting him. He's been very quiet. We asked for a reaction about Summerall being hired today. He gave no comment. He avoided all media today at Tennessee when he left that official visit. He told me directly, just not ready to talk about, Florida, the new hire, the Tennessee interest. So just trying to talk behind the scenes to other people and put things together. I would still lean he stays with Florida as of right now. Mm-hmm. Him avoiding those questions sometimes make you think, is there some real traction there for Tennessee as well?
Yeah, I mean, I saw a Corey Bender article. He had a lot of recruit reaction from guys, a lot of guys happy about the hire, happy to comment on the hire. So, yeah, you don't know what it really means with Carr, but that is an interesting little tidbit there. So let's talk more flip targets. Maybe they weren't on campus this weekend, but we know they are still in it for running back Amari Latimer, potential flip of J.J. Finch. Who else are they pushing hard for down the stretch here?
Yeah, when talking flips, definitely those 2 are definitely up there. I would say on the same lane as that is keeping Moa, Salesi Moa in this class. I mean, he was up at Michigan this weekend, but so that was a big one that was not in Knoxville, but didn't stay at home in Utah. He went up to Ann Arbor. So
yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah, to start there, I mean, obviously, I think people were caught a little bit off guard with that visit, him going up to Michigan. They were obviously always a top 3 or 4 school for him and his recruitment before. I think he surprised some people and picked Tennessee over Utah and some others back in the summer. But from everything I've gathered, when talking about signing day on Wednesday, the people around Knoxville expect Moa to be part of this class at Tennessee, which will be a big get for them to keep him in the fold until the end. Going back to your question, though, about flip targets, yeah. I mean, Amari Latimer still playing deep in the playoffs here where I live in Georgia, having a big-time senior season, a big, powerful, kind of that old-school Big Ten style, running back, downhill, runs through tackles, great body lean, always seems to fall forward. And look, schools haven't given up on him. Tennessee being one, Miami being another. Ohio State was in play at one time. We think right now either he stays with Wisconsin, where he's been committed for some time to. His brother plays safety there as well for the Badgers, or he flips to Tennessee or Miami. I think all three schools feel they still have a shot. I think Wisconsin is a little bit nervous up there in Madison. Can they hold on and keep him away from schools down south like Miami, like Tennessee? We know there's been dialogue this weekend. He stayed home after his playoff win on Friday. Didn't go to any games this weekend. He's had conversations with the Tennessee staff this weekend. We know they're still in the mix. They would love nothing more than to add him in this class. And then looking also with a guy also just staying in Georgia, not a true flip target, but Jordan Carter. They want to add an edge, talking about him, and then flip target J.J. Finch, two guys that come off the edge. Carter recently backed off that Texas A&M commitment. He was at Auburn this weekend, at Georgia Tech last weekend, Tennessee the week before. And look, this one could go, I think, any three ways. You know, every time he's taken an OV, he's came back with that school as the favorite. That school was trending. And I even said last week after we went to Georgia Tech that I thought they were in the best spot. Now, fast forward a week later, he's fresh off that Auburn visit. They're in the mix, but I think Tennessee has kind of come back and maybe slowed that momentum down for Georgia Tech, maybe grab that momentum back in the final hours. Look, Tech's going to go hard after him. He's an in-state kid for them. They all want pass rush guys. Can you rule Auburn completely out? Likely not, but I think it comes down to Tennessee and Georgia Tech. And as of today, Sunday, 3 days away from signing day, I think where Tennessee's at is very favorable for them. With Finch, Alabama commit, been that way since the summer, showed up at Tennessee for a game here in November. There's some buzz about this one coming down to the NIL. You know, who's going to be the highest bidder? And I'm told if it does come down to that fact, then to lean Tennessee's way, that they'll go higher than Alabama. He likes both programs. Tennessee has made it clear he's wanted there, he's needed there. Alabama's trying to hold on here. He likes that program, obviously, committed to them. But right now I'm hearing if it comes down to that NIL, that dollar sign, then go with Tennessee.
Okay. Sounds like Tennessee, there's with NIL, with this new era of recruiting, there's not a whole lot of movement, but it sounds like Tennessee could be one of the more active teams down the stretch. But one name we're hearing nothing about, and that's probably a great thing for Tennessee fans, is Tristan Keys. When he was committed to LSU, there was a lot of rumors, but ever since he flipped to Tennessee, I mean, is this one that Tennessee just has locked up and there's really no concern?
Yeah, I have not heard any concern about Tristan Keys since I think it was late August he flipped to Tennessee. We all thought that was coming at some point, either decommit or flip. But once he flipped, you know, he's been locked in. When he committed to Tennessee, signed that Adidas deal as well. And like he's been there multiple times this year. I mean, we all talked about David Sanders this time last year, ended up not signing on the first day and that Wednesday last year in December, and kept people guessing, you know, could he opt out? Could he end up at Ohio State? What's going to happen here? Obviously ended up at Tennessee, but there's been really, they're big names this year. You know, Faison Brandon, the quarterback face of the class, Tristan Keys flipped in August, been solid for multiple months now. To me, not a lot of real drama with their big name commits. Maybe Moa a little bit this weekend going to Michigan, but it seems to be still trending Tennessee's way to hang on there.
Yeah, it just seems, you know, like things are going well for Tennessee down the stretch. Going to add a couple pieces, not much movement. Got to love it. Tennessee fans love to hear that there's no buzz with Tristan Keys, I'm sure. So, Chad, we will be tapping back in with you all week long as we go live every day between now and signing day. Thanks for dropping by the Inside Scoop.
Thank you, Josh.